Well, 50 years ago today, President John F. Kennedy was preparing for his visit to Dallas, a fateful trip that would end with his assassination. A memorial is set to mark the tragic events of that day. Jay Gray is in Dealey Plaza tonight with a look ahead to the ceremony and a look back at that dreadful day.
Hey there, good evening, Russ. Good evening, Karen. Security, as you might imagine, very tight here right now. A 3-block area of downtown Dallas has already been shut down for days as this city prepares to honor a president lost way too soon and reflect on a day that so many will never forget. The images and memories still echo from Dealey Plaza. The grainy film.
President John F. Kennedy died at approximately 1 o'clock Central Standard Time today here in Dallas.
The shock and pain from one of America's darkest moments, a half-century later, is yet to fade.
I was 13 when he was assassinated, and it's like this place I always was. You know, I knew exactly where I was the minute he was shot, and it changed my outlook on the world. I was just stunned. I couldn't believe it could happen in America.
Specifically, Dallas, Texas.
Dallas was known throughout the world after the assassination by this stigma.
The events of that day still haunt the city, a horrific legacy outlined by the buildings where the tragedy played out, still in use today. The Texas School Book Depository, where the deadly shots were fired. Parkland Hospital, where John Kennedy was rushed after the attack, and where a nation learned its president was dead. And the Texas Theater, where police arrested assassin Lee Harvey Oswald.
When I heard the shots, I thought some idiot has fired the shots as a demonstration. It was inconceivable to me that the shots would have been directed at Kennedy.
A young reporter for NBC News, Robert McNeil, found himself in the middle of a story that would change the country forever.
It ushered in, it sort of opened the door to all the nightmarish things that seized this country by the throat for the rest of the decade of the 60s.
And that now, a half-century later, still seems to have a hold on the nation's heart and soul. Tomorrow's memorial will last about an hour. No one from the Kennedy family is expected to attend, and tickets for the general public were limited to 5,000, though the event will be simulcast to video stations set up across the downtown area. In Dallas, Jay Gray, 2 News, works for you.
All right, Jay, thanks. And a Tulsa man was in Washington, D.C. the day that President Kennedy was assassinated.
He shares his memories with 2 News reporter Rico Bush. It's new at 5.
Well, Russ and Karen, Dr. Daly tells me when he heard that Kennedy was shot and killed, he was shocked, and he said he also was heartbroken. Now, Dr. Daly attended Georgetown University to study foreign service in D.C. Once Kennedy got elected, he believed he was one of the greatest leaders of the 20th century. Daly says he worked at a publishing company in D.C. during the times of Kennedy's death. He remembers seeing an AP ticker that showed Kennedy had been possibly fatally shot. He recalls those terrible moments after he heard the news.
The reverence and the shock that people experienced right after this for days was very, very notable.
And Dr. Daly tells me he still has a month's worth of carbon copies from AP wires from the day Kennedy was killed. They are in a box that he has not opened in 50 years, and he tells me he hopes to donate those copies to the Kennedy Library sometime in the future. Reporting live in Live Update Center, I'm Rico Bush. 2 News works for you.
Thank you, Rico. We will have much more on the 50th anniversary of JFK's assassination tomorrow on 2 News at 5.
Meantime, our coverage continues on our mobile apps and online. In fact, we've posted a special page showing what life was like in 1963 before the president's murder changed the nation and the world. It's online right now. You can find it at kjrh.com.